Hey boys and girls, we're going to be creating a winter cardinal project, and for this project we're going to use a pencil, a Sharpie or other permanent black marker. You're going to have a template for your cardinal to trace, some red paper for that cardinal, some white paper for the background, either oil pastels or crayons, some watercolor, a brush, and some water, and also some scissors and glue. Lots of supplies that we're going to use to make this amazing winter cardinal project. To get started, we're going to use our white paper, and remember, the first thing that we do is always the same. We flip our paper over and we write our name. And after you do that, you're going to create what's called a watercolor wash. That simply means that you are leaving no white space on your paper. You're covering it up completely. This is going to be the sky, the background for our cardinal. So think of sky colors, wintry sky colors. I'm going to do a complete wash, so I'm using my watercolor, dipping my brush in the water, making a little puddle on my blue, and covering my paper with blue. I'm also going to add just a touch of purple in there just for some fun, because wintry sky is very chilly, and so there's a little bit of purple in there. So keep painting until you completely cover your entire piece of watercolor paper. And when you're done painting your entire piece of paper, then it's time to work on our cardinal while it dries. Now you're going to take your cardinal stencil or template or tracer, whatever you would like to call it, but the point of it is to help you get the right shape to get started with your cardinal. Sometimes it's really frustrating to draw it, so I have given you a stencil to help you get that shape. So hold it down with your hand that you do not draw with and use your other hand to trace it with a pencil. Be very careful, don't wiggle it around. You want to be very precise and get those lines. And when you pick it up, voila, you have a cardinal. Go ahead and trace that cardinal with your Sharpie. Okay, now think about the things that are missing. Maybe a wing, an eye, the beak. So you can use your Sharpie or pencil first if you're more comfortable and finish drawing those details. So the beak and a cute little eye. I'm going to color it in and leave just a little dot for the highlight. Then I'm going to add a wing, just a big teardrop shape with some texture lines. Also, the tail feathers have some lines on them so you can see the different feathers. And then the mask, which is what a cardinal is very famous for, his black mask. He looks like a bandit with that mask on. So after you've drawn your details, then go back and cut out your cardinal. Now that I have my cardinal cut out, I'm going to use my oil pastels or crayons just to color in some of those details. So I'm going to use some yellow and orange on the beak, and then I'm going to color in that black mask around his eye. Be sure not to cover up the eye, and I'm actually going to use a white to add a little highlight so you can still see the eye. I'm going to add some red and just a little bit of black to show the texture of the feathers on my cardinal. And now that we have completed our cardinal, we can go ahead and get our backgrounds out. Now these are nice and dry from the paint that we put on them earlier. We're going to start drawing a nice little tree branch for our cardinal to sit on. Remember, tree branches have two sides and they end in a point. Ouch, they're sharp! So, as you're drawing, remember that a tree branch always gets smaller at the end, and make it simple. So you do not have to complicate this. Just make a simple tree branch, and then you can add as many branches off of that tree branch as you would like. And once you're comfortable and happy with your tree branches, then go ahead and trace them with Sharpie. that my tree branches are done, I'm going to get out either my crayons or oil pastels. I'm actually going to color in my tree branches. I'm starting with just a regular old brown and coloring those in, but I want to show you how to blend it. So I color it first with the darker kind of a muddy brown, I guess you could call it, and coloring it in completely. And then I'm going to actually get out a lighter brown, more of a tan color, and I'm going to go on top of it. Oil pastels are really cool in that they will blend together beautifully. So this will just make it look much more realistic and a little more interesting. And it also blends those colors in really nicely. Next, I'm going to get out a couple different shades of green and add some green leaves or green greenery that you would see on an evergreen tree or a conifer tree. That's a tree that will stay green even during the winter. So think like Christmas tree branches. They have long, thin leaves. So add some of those. I am going over with a couple different shades of green for some good variety. Variety is using more than just one color, and it makes our artwork amazing. A nice habitat for our cardinal, it's time to glue him onto his lovely tree branch. So use your glue stick and walk it around the outside edge. Just one line will do just fine. And then turn your paper over and give your paper a nice massage. This is some good stick time for that glue to make sure that it has completely stuck to the paper and it will not fall off. And then you can turn him over and give your cardinal what he's missing. Oh yeah, some feet. So just a few little lines will be just fine on this also. And now your cardinal has some happy feet. Our final step to this project is to add just a little bit of snow. Cardinals are birds that will come out during even the coldest of winter months, and sometimes we'll see cardinals even in the snow. So we're going to add some snow to our artwork by using a Q-tip as our paintbrush. It's a little bit different from what we normally do, but you can paint the snow where it falls on top of the branches and make a few little dots for the snowflakes. They could even be on top of your cardinal, but don't cover up your cardinal with tons of white snow. Just a few, not a lot, all over your paper to make this beautiful painting complete. I cannot wait to see the cardinals that you create.